Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So today I want to talk about kind of what my monthly interaction looks like with my 20 unit property manager and my 26 unit property manager. How much time does it take and like what topics do we typically discuss about now that the portfolio is stabilized? So for my 26 unit apartment complex, I bought this in August of 2021 and it finished renovation in November of 2023. So it's been done for about a year now. So now at this point, it's a lot more passive. I have a rapport of my property manager for my 26 unit and my 20 unit, and we kind of know how we work, right? And this is the part where you can kind of start to get complacent yourself as well as a property manager. So I still try to touch base with my property managers periodically just to know that I'm still watching, I'm still asking questions, and I'm still monitoring. So for my 26 unit property manager, our most recent conversations were about insurance. So I have a whole video talking about it, but basically I was pretty much asking him what his thoughts are on replacement cost insurance, which cost me $30,000 versus actual cash value insurance, which cost me $9,000, and what's the pros and cons of doing each. And we collectively decided that it's better just to get the ACV $9,000 insurance, take that $21,000 in savings, and I can allocate it towards fixing up the property or just cash flow in my pocket, because he just said, well, you know, that's a huge gap. You know, if it was a $5,000 difference between replacement cost and actual cash value, then you know, obviously go replacement cost. But if you're paying an arm and a leg for replacement cost insurance and it's going up every year, unfortunately, which all insurance goes up every year, then it's not worth it, you know, at this time. So that was my most recent conversation. Another conversation we had was talking about the wood trim repair. So, you know, they mentioned this to me like years ago that, you know, the side of the building that the sun hits most of the time, and it's Oklahoma, so it's the Midwest, so you know it's hot, it's cold, rain, hail, and they said that it's just not very aesthetic and does not very eye pleasing. But you know, for me at the time, I was renovating units and I was focused on renovating those units because renovating those units helped me make more income because I could, you know, renovate the unit and then rent out the unit, right? And then renovate the next unit, rent out the next unit. So I was really focused on renovating the units so that I could rent them out. And I said at the end, once all the units are done, then, you know, give me some time to rebuild up my cash and my reserves, and then I would be happy to allocate, you know, money towards fixing the trim, because obviously it's the first impression that the tenant has when they walk in. They see the side of the building, and you know, if it's, you know, kind of wood and olden, maybe not as aesthetic, may not get as good tenants, may not get as high of market rents. But now that it makes sense, I said, okay, let's replace it. So we ended up replacing the wood and painting it kind of a royal blue color, which is popular. Like I love blue, but like I delegate all this to my property manager / general contractor because they know what's popular in the area. And I just said, hey, just send me progress photos, send me updates so that I can update my insurer when it's done. So, you know, they finished the work, and it's hard because during summertime in Oklahoma, it's super hot. So you can only work from like 8 to like maybe noon. Then after noon, it's too hot and, you know, people don't want to be out there. So, you know, they finished the woodwork, finished the painting, and they just said, great, you know, it cost $5,000. And from there, I was able to switch my insurance, which saved me $21,000. So totally worth it. Right. And at this point, you know, I just sent text messages saying, hey, like if I have questions about the monthly reports, you know, about they have, or if they forget to send me the monthly report, then I usually will text them, say, hey, I haven't gotten my monthly report yet. Can I get that? And what I do is I'll actually reconcile my bank account. So what I do is I'll see how much rent goes into my bank account every month. And it should make sense based off the rent roll. So if my rent roll is $16,000, then I should see close to $16,000 in my bank account, unless, you know, tenants didn't pay, or a tenant's moving out, or a tenant, yeah, whatever that reason is. So to me, that's the source of truth, right? Like, yes, they can send me a P&L, profit and loss statement, that shows the rent is $16,000, expense $8,000, but the source of truth is the bank account, because I could see how much income I'm getting, how much expense I have. So for me, checking the bank statement, it's actually probably more important, right, than checking the actual P&L. So I try to check the bank statement once a month, you know, see the income, see the expense, does it match up? And then, you know, obviously not all expenses are going into that account, then I'll pull the other expenses. So honestly, it doesn't take me that long. Like at this point, I know I'm kind of getting about 16,000 for my 26 unit, so it doesn't take me too long. For my 20 unit, it's a little bit different. So this property, not doing any renovations right now unless insurance requires me to repair some wood trim to convert from an RCV, which cost me insurance policy, which cost me 15K, to an ACV, which I got quote for 5,000. Then maybe I'll reach out to my contractor, say, give me a quote. How much does it cost to replace this? Hopefully it's reasonable, like 5,000 or less. And if so, I'll move forward with that and fix it. But for this one, what's nice about this 20 unit is that they have all the reports actually automated. So they automate it to me every single month. And for this one, I don't have a shared bank account with them. So my 26 unit, we use BMO because it's lended through BMO. So I have to use BMO Bank for the account, for my business account. But then for my 20 unit, they have an escrow account where, they will collect all the rent. They will distribute all the expenses. They'll hold a reserve of like 2,000 for emergencies or repairs. And whatever is left over, they'll actually distribute to my holding company account. Right, so this one, it's a little bit easier to track the cash flow because I just see the automation like, okay, we're sending you $4,000 this month, right? But out of that account, it doesn't factor in insurance, not yet, because right now I pay insurance through my credit card, my business credit card, and then it doesn't cover the mortgage. The mortgage is covered through my business account. So if I get, let's say, $4,000 or let's say $4,500 back, but then insurance is costing me $1,000 a month, and then the mortgage is another, let's say $2,500, so it's $3,500. So if I get $4,500 back, I know that minus $3,500, I'm getting $1,000 in cash flow that month, right? Which is just being saved for another repair. So this one is pretty nice. So, and then probably I'll look to, if I switch insurance, I'll probably look to transition that insurance over to the escrow account. I was just paying with my business credit card because I was getting a bunch of points. Obviously I was paying $30,000 for my 26 unit, and my 20 unit was 15,000. So that's $45,000 a year on my credit card, which gets you a decent amount of points and cash back and travel, whatever, right? But it's fine. So I'll probably look to transition to that. So whatever they distribute to me, I just know, okay, if I'm getting $3,000 and my mortgage is $2,500, I cash flow $500 that month, which is just CapEx reserve fund, right? So this one, not too bad in terms of this one. I usually just text her. I might call her periodically, but my most recent conversation with her was that I just was like, hey, focus on renting out all the units, and once all the units are rented out, then we can start to raise rents on some of the tenants, because we had some tenants that were existing, and like market rent would be like $550, and then I had some tenants that were in there at like $250, and then we renovate the whole property and haven't raised their rents yet. So I just said, well, whenever occupancy is good at 100%, then you can raise the rents on the tenant that has the lowest rent, and slowly work from there. But every time, because this property has turnover, we get it to 100%, and then all of a sudden like 2 tenants will leave, and at that point we don't raise the rent on that tenant, but we're focused on bringing 2 new tenants. So so far tenant's been getting away with the 250 in rents, but it's okay. He's been paying on time and has been great, so I can't complain. But that's just been my conversation with them. Not really much else going on with that. So once again, so to kind of summarize all of this, for my 20 unit, they distribute me the money every month, and from there I will know based off of how much I'm paying for the mortgage and insurance, like how much I cash flow. In my 26 unit, I just looked at the monthly bank statements to see my income and my expense, and I'll know my P&L based off of that, right? Because I see the money in the account. So hopefully this gives you some value and some context as to my interactions with my property manager for my 20 unit and my 26 unit apartment complexes, like what I do with them now that's stabilized. And if you're looking to buy your first multifamily apartment complex with some guidance, check out the mentorship program. Otherwise, let me know what questions you have. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.